Site components are those objects you might see at a typical site. Anything from trash cans, the bike racks, planters, trees and bushes and shrubbery. In this instance, let's go ahead and place a few site components on the site. To begin with, we come up here underneath Massing and Site and choose Site Component. We can see right now loaded in the project, underneath Properties on the Type Selector list, a wide variety of different sorts of trees, and I'll even say some of these are short enough that they're almost bushes. What I'm going to do is I'll select on this red ash 25 foot and then click in order to place these in multiple different locations here on the site. Now you don't have to place them in the exact same spots that I'm placing them in, but I just want to illustrate that you can click and place them anywhere you'd like along the site. We could do this with one of these other kinds of bushes as well, such as this gray birch. And I'll click here and start to populate this site with several different trees. Hit escape a couple times on the keyboard. If we select on those site components again, we could then go to Load Family. And through here, we can search through the different families that come with the program. We're going to look for our site directory. And through here, we could do logistics, accessories, a variety of different things, but I'm going to go into accessories, and we can see that we have bollards and bike stands and dumpsters and flagpoles. For this, I'm going to choose both the planter and the park bench. So I'm going to hold down Control and pick on both of these. If you can't find those, just pick a different one off of the list and load in whatever accessory you feel like so we can place it onto the site. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see this. If you hit the space bar, you can rotate these around before placement, and then you can click in order to place these in. And I'm just placing them again and again and again. Something else to know about these is that if you get in really close here, we can just click in order to place it. And if I select on that, you could then use the rotate command and then rotate this around so it's at the right angle. And then you can copy that continuously on down here, looking out at our parking lot area or whatever this is supposed to be. If I want to place in one more of these, I could. Once again, it's a site component. Drop in a handful of planters, one here, and now maybe just one right over here. Now, let's take a look at this in 3D and see what has actually happened. So if we move up here to the default 3D view, we can see there's the planters. Those are those benches that I just placed, as well as all the trees. But perhaps the most important thing is if we spin this around by holding Shift down on the keyboard, as well as the wheel down on the mouse, you'll see that these trees are at the different elevations. Wherever it is that we snapped, if there was a contour there, it then selected that spot, and now it's holding that elevation. So each of these trees, each of these components, each of these benches are actually sitting on the ground. Things like your parking components and site components are very unique inside of Revit. They will be hosted to the entity, like in this case the site, but they won't be hosted to an individual level. So if the site would move from side to side or up and down, or if the site conditions would change, then this would raise up or raise down and move as the site adjusted and changed as well.